Thanks for checking in on the State of Basketball Podcast, episode 110. I'm Adam Miller, and I'm here with Jaren Will each and every week, and we are going to be bringing you the news and notes on all 11 Division I schools in the state of Indiana, because in 49 states,
it's just basketball.
Apologize for taking last week off. We were snowed in, and it was obviously... You know, if you're listening to this, odds are you were snowed in as well, or you're a sicko,
or are aware of the snowstorm that hit the entire nation, most of the nation,
and was bad. Started on Sunday in Indiana and went for all of Sunday, basically.
It started Saturday, dare I say?
I don't even remember, man. It's hurt my back. That's what it did.
Didn't hurt mine.
Good shoveling.
Thankfully, my brother-in-law took care of it.
Nice. But we're here. We're back. The Hoosiers are back. Purdue's back. Some teams are back playing well. And we're going to talk about it. So 110 episodes. And we are here, season 3, ready to talk. So let's just get right into it, because it was a good week in basketball, I think, nationally.
Yeah, most definitely. I think this is probably one of the better weeks. I'm glad we took off last week because of the storm and not this week, because it would have sucked, because we have a lot we want to talk about, because a lot happened this week. And before we talk about anything, we always start with our power rankings. And this week, they are brought to you by Crow's Nest Coffee Roasters. I remember you can get coffee. It's cold still, winter time. Nice way to warm me up. I've been drinking a lot of tea lately, so I'm going to actually reach out to them and be like, hey, you ever thought about adding tea to your mix? Just because why not? But you can get 15% off every order using promo code TSOB. And without further ado, our power rankings are as follows. So obviously the comparison we'll do is this week versus 2 weeks ago. So this is week 13 of the season. We'll be comparing our previous rankings of week 11. But in 11th place, 11th in our power rankings is Southern Indiana. They stayed the same from our previous power rankings. At 10, we've got Ball State, also staying the same. Lost some games this week, won some games the week prior, but all in all, we felt that their resume still has them at 10. Number 9, a bit of a change, is Evansville. So Evansville's been going through a pretty rough stretch over the last several weeks. So they moved down one spot from week 11. At 8 is IU Indy. They moved up one spot. So kind of there's a little swap there. The rest, pretty standard, what we've been talking about. At 7, we've got Indiana State. At 6, we've got Purdue Fort Wayne. Those two were kind of a toss-up, but we compared resumes earlier and felt that Purdue Fort Wayne, at 6. We still do feel that Purdue Fort Wayne has a better resume than Indiana State. At 5 is Valpo, again, kind of par for the course. At 4, Notre Dame still. So Notre Dame has been kind of in that 4 spot for quite a bit.
They're holding on for dear life.
In
that 4 spot.
It's getting close, but just inherently playing tougher competition, pulling some wins here and there, playing close games. We do feel that their resume is still better than Valpo's. Number 3 is Butler. So that's over the last couple weeks, Butler and Indiana have been kind of fighting for that 3 spot, fighting for that 2 spot, just figuring out where things are going to settle. Week 11, we felt that Indiana was still kind of inching closer to getting up into the 2 spot, but Butler still, all in all, had the better resume. Things have since changed. Indiana being at number 2, they just had a great week, right? We'll talk about that, but they got the major resume booster that they needed, that all of the fans were hoping for. It hadn't come yet, but here it is. So they're in second in our power rankings, and then Purdue, the Boilermakers, are in 1 still. And you might be thinking, okay, well, Indiana just beat Purdue. Shouldn't they be higher? Well, no. In general, right, Purdue still does have the much better resume than Indiana. And so it's like, okay, yeah, they won the head-to-head thus far. But for now, again, Purdue, even after their little bit of a slump, are still number 1 in our rankings. So that is the Week 13 Power Rankings presented by Crow's Nest Coffee Roasters.
Yeah, so a little shake up. Obviously, Purdue's still number one, but we've got a full week breakdown. I mean, great week in the nation for basketball. In my mind, there were a lot of crazy things that happened, a lot of good stories, but there weren't not every team had a had a good week as we have come to see here. Ball State, they went up a little bit actually here since the last time we talked. This is our rankings are going to be updated from 2 weeks ago, the Torvik rankings and everything, because we didn't update them last week when we were off. So this is from the last time that we presented the Torvik rankings. They were 307th last time. Now they're 300. They went 0-1 this week, brings them to 7-4, 7-14, and 3-6 in the MAC. And they lost this week at Toledo, 73-55. Now they did go on like a 3-game winning streak, right? They got their first 3 MAC wins. And we missed 2 of them, unfortunately for Ball State, but they did get some wins. So like that was nice. They needed those, but unfortunately, I mean, Toledo is a tough team to play.
Yeah. I mean, this is always going to be a tough game. I mean, Toledo is not at the top of the conference like they have been in years prior, right? But they're still a very good team. They're still a top 200 team. I think they're top 150. Actually.
Yeah, Toledo's 152, so they're sitting at 4th. I mean, they're 1 game behind Kent State and only 2 games behind Akron, the highest ranked in Torvik team in the MAC. Obviously, Miami of Ohio is above them in the standings.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I think to keep things simple when we talk about this game, it really just boiled down to they made half as many shots as Toledo. They took about the same. They took about the same, and they made about half as many. So I think that all in all, right, is not a recipe for success against a pretty well coached Toledo team. And their coach has been there for like 15 years. Mm-hmm. So it's a well-oiled machine up there in Toledo.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate to see them end their 3-game winning streak. But another note on Ball State is I don't think he played this year at all. Zane Doty, he left the program officially. He was it was announced that he was taking like mental health break or something early on in this season, and then they announced that he officially departed from the program. He announced that he's leaving Ball State and has 3 years of eligibility left. I think he got maybe his freshman or his sophomore year. I don't remember which one he got. He must have gotten an extra year for, because he was hurt, I think, his freshman year too.
Yep.
And so he has 3 years of eligibility remaining. He was originally a Valpo recruit, and ended up not working out for him at Ball State. But I don't know that he would have necessarily had the same role. Necessarily would have had like a starring role at Valpo either, because they had Cooper Schwieger, and that was, that's a tough matchup there. But we wish him the best and hope that he finds what he's looking for wherever he goes. And we're always looking for people to succeed wherever that may be, even if it is leaving one of our teams or going to a different state or whatever it is for Zane.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, he's just in search of greener pastures, and that's just the world we live in, and hoping that he finds the right home for himself, because we saw him play in high school his senior year. He's a great ball player. So very much looking forward to seeing where he lands. Moving on to Butler, they moved down in the rankings. So remember, this is 2 weeks ago's rankings compared to this week's. They were 52. Now they are 67. I'm not laughing at them being 67th or going down. For our audio listeners, Adam just did the 6-7 emote, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
An emo in real life. Kill me now.
I mean, that's what emotes are.
I guess. It was a selly.
True.
I was celebrating our podcast comeback for episode 110.
But this past week, Butler did go 0-2. They're still 13-9 overall and 4-7 in the Big East. They lost at St. John's 92-70, and they lost to Georgetown 77-64. Big thing here, right? St. John's at St. John's. Contrary to popular belief, and a lot of St. John's fans don't feel this way, but I think most of America does. St. John's, good ball team. Play good basketball.
Yeah, they're not where they thought that they were going to be.
Well,
They were
no.
picked to win the conference.
No, but they're still really good, and they're just unfortunately in the same conference as UConn, who is probably the second best team in the country, pretty close to it.
They will be at least in the AP poll tomorrow.
Yeah. I just shout out to John Fanta. I don't remember if it was last week or this week, but he did a Twitter Spaces or X Spaces where some St. John's fans came in and were like talking about how bad they were, and he like went on a rant. He's like, "No, you guys are dumb. This is a really good team."
I love when he pops off on people in a space.
So it was just good to see him defending the Johnnies there.
Yeah, I mean, they've now lost 8 straight to St. John's. They went 50% from the free throw line. St. John's had 17 assists on 36 field goals. I mean, Butler only had 9. Like, it was just not a good game. And then they follow that up with taking 12 more shots than Georgetown in their next game and making 7 fewer. They only had 8 second chance points. And, like, this has been a very good rebounding team pretty much all year. They've out-rebounded most of the teams that they've played, and they didn't do this. And, like, this is, like, a season-breaking loss in my mind. Like, Georgetown's not good.
Yeah.
You were at home. Like, you cannot lose this game. And you go and you make 5 shots in the entire second half. Like,
yeah.
This game kind of had me crashing out.
Yeah, I mean, in the St. John's game, right? We did have another double from Ajayi, 19 points, 11 rebounds. So he's still in that category. If there's, that's like, trying to add a little bit of positive to that. And then the Georgetown game, right? Big thing there. Georgetown shot and made a lot of threes in the first half. Butler adjusted. They defended the perimeter a lot better, forced some more misses, but to Adam's point, only made 5 baskets.
Shots, yeah.
Like it's like
gotta score more than the opponent to win the game, guys.
You defended them. You kept them from shooting threes and keeping that score from getting out of reach, but then you just didn't make the basket. You didn't put the ball through the hoop to add points to your side. So it's like, okay, again, not the greatest thing to see from them. But we also had a career high 19 points from Jamie Kaiser Jr. So, some positive there.
Yeah, I mean, the Big East kind of sucks this year in comparison to how it should, other than UConn and then kind of St. John's, I think.
Yeah.
So you can't be taking losses like Georgetown. Let's talk about Evansville. So they went down a little bit here. They went from 264. They're down to 287 now in Torvik. They unfortunately had an 0-2 week, so a pretty rough one for the Aces. They are now 5-17 on the season and 1-10 in the Missouri Valley, which puts them in last place in the Missouri Valley right now. They lost at Drake, tough place to play, lost by 4, 82-78, and then they lost at Northern Iowa, 71-55. So a tough week on the road for the Aces. And just an absolutely brutal stretch for them. They lost 8 straight, and then they won at Indiana State. Just a shocker, honestly. The way Indiana State had been playing, I expected them to win. And then they lost 4 more straight. And they lost 2 by 4 points, and then 2 are big blowouts. So they competed in 2 of them. Of their last 4 that they lost, they competed in 2 of them. One of them that being at Drake. And then just got blown out in the other 2.
Yeah. I mean, in the Drake game, right? They had me in the first half. Not gonna lie,
dude. No kidding. They're up like 19.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
They were up like 19 with like 13 minutes left.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, they shot well. The Aces did. They had really good shot well from the field. But free throws. Not even that really. Fouls.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Drake was relentless.
The Aces they were 7 of 12 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a pretty decent clip for as a team, right? It's a pretty decent percentage. You'd want it to be a little higher, but
yeah.
Then you look at Drake, 28 for 38. That's 28 points. That you get rid of half of those, you win the game.
Dude, it was so bad. There
were 30 free throws shot in the second half by Drake.
It's disgusting. So you know how like some games like this where one team makes like a really big comeback and it feels like, like can the team with the lead like hold on? Like the other team's hot. Like can they hold on? This one didn't feel like that. It felt like, does Drake just have enough time? Like it was like they're gonna win this game. Like the way that they're playing and like the like last 13 minutes, it was like the way they're playing. Drake's gonna win this game. Just can they win it in 13 minutes? Yes.
Yeah.
And it felt like Evansville was just trying to like keep their head above water there. Northern Iowa, like they shot well against Drake, but Northern Iowa did not shoot well. I mean, 27%, far from the worst that we've seen them shoot, but did not do well there.
I will say, I mean,
how they have been.
They had no Turnbull against UNI. He didn't play against Drake either, I don't believe, unless I'm crossing games in my mind. But then Hughes got in foul trouble pretty quickly into the first half of the UNI game. So he sat most of the first half, which like that hurts in general. UNI is going to take advantage of that. You've got two of your better players not on the court. They're going to take advantage. Better second half than the first half. Great, cool. But they were in such a deep hole that like, again, they couldn't get back up.
Can we talk about this stat, Jaren? I don't know that I've ever seen this before. Evansville had 8 turnovers.
Okay.
UNI had 0 steals. 0 steals. So they were just all like, offensive fouls, dead ball turnover. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've really ever seen a team with 0 steals ever, basically. Like that doesn't happen
regardless of turnovers.
Yeah, let alone like you could see like a 0 steals, 3 turnovers or something. Like
maybe, but
that's
like,
just bad. That's just bad play.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Yeah,
like they literally weren't turning you over. I mean, they can turn you over, like make you try, make you travel. They like other things like that, but like they didn't catch a single errant pass. It's wild.
That's wild.
And that's the story of the game.
Yep. Moving on to Indiana, the Hoosiers. They are presently Torvik ranked 23. That is up from 25 where they were 2 weeks ago.
Jordan.
So kind of sitting around that same area in the rankings. They went 2-0 this week. They're 15-7 overall, 6-5 in the Big Ten. They won over Purdue 72-67. And then they won at UCLA 98-97 in double overtime. And for those 2 reasons, for the second time this season, the Indiana Hoosiers are our Hickory Team of the Week. Both these games, right, they were underdogs. Purdue coming into Assembly Hall. Purdue was the favorite. Indiana going into Pauley Pavilion at UCLA. UCLA was the favorite. UCLA playing pretty good basketball. Both these wins, complete team wins. They did it without Conaway. He's been hurt, minutes restrictions, just hasn't been playing. Against Purdue, Connor Enright played 40 minutes of hard defense and did not foul a single time. Had the Boilermakers in hell. Also picked up a huge 3 down the stretch that really helped seal the game for the Hoosiers. Against UCLA, they gritted out the win in double overtime. They had 3 guys foul out. 2 of which by the name of Connor Enright and Reed Bailey. Connor Enright, their defensive hound, always going to be guarding the best player on the other team. And then Reed Bailey, big blow there because he was lights out for the Hoosiers this week. Really, both of those guys got a lot of hate over the last few weeks. They silenced the doubters because they showed up big in both these games. This week, also with these 2 games, a lot of the Hoosiers fans picked up a Dorn addiction. He shot, played lights out, scored, 24 and 28 or something like that. Just absolutely shot lights out, played well, helped win both these games. Another big name, Trent Sisley. He's played decent minutes throughout the season. Hasn't scored a whole lot, but did have 2 of his lowest scoring outputs this season in these 2 games. But none of them, the points he's made this season, were bigger than the free throw he made with 0.3 seconds left on the clock to clinch the game, put them up 1, win the game there. This team in general, all they needed was a little bit of belief. And we saw going into this week that what they're capable of when they really believe in themselves, and that's why they are the Hickory Team of the Week for Week 13.
Spin zone here. Let me ask you a question. Are they better without Connerway?
Um,
I have thoughts on it, but I want to hear your opinion first.
I think there's a couple different things that I think we've seen with Connerway being out. And I don't think it's him not being on the court necessarily. I think it's increased minutes by Dorn.
Yeah.
Having a true third shooter on the court. Yep. Right? Because before the shooters
Connerway's
were
a non-shooter.
Yeah. Before the shooters were DeVries and Lamar.
Yeah.
Right. I think with having that extra shooter, it's freed up Tucker DeVries. He's not been scoring as much, but what he's doing,
got more options. Yeah,
what he's doing in every other statistical category is insane. I mean, he ran point for a lot of the second half against,
pretty much,
and overtime against UCLA.
Yeah,
he had I think 9 boards in both games. Might have had 10.
He's been better. I mean,
he's got more assists. I think that it just helps other pieces get that opportunity to free up, and having Enright and Connerway on the court at the same time, because that's what it was. The big difference is when Connerway goes out, Dorn comes in.
Yeah,
and so.
I mean, good defense, right? When you got them,
you've got a little bit more size too with Dorn.
Yeah, so but you've also got Connerway, good defender, but a lot of turnovers.
Yeah,
turns the ball over a lot.
Yeah,
I think having that extra shooter, I honestly think he's healthy. He comes off the bench.
I saw a tweet on Twitter the other day. Might have been today, but it was okay, well, Connerway comes back. If this was Mike Woodson coaching, he goes right back into the starting lineup. What does DeVries do? What does DeVries do? And I think that's definitely something. And I also think that Connerway's the type of player that he's not going to be pissed that he doesn't start. I think he seems to me like a true team player. And
I mean, he's just getting beat. You know what I mean? He's getting beat. You get Enright has been great. That would be the other guy that he could start over. And Dorn has been incredible. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing on how they put him back into the lineup. I think
it gives more flexibility to be able to, now that you see this, it's because Dorn was playing limited minutes just because he was a non-starter, right? We had Connerway. Okay, does Enright get some more breaks here and there? Does Lamar get some more breaks here and there to keep them fresh, and also keeps Connerway fresh? He's playing less minutes in general.
Yeah, just have those 3 guys just kind of almost just kind of have them rotating in and out.
And I think that we also will probably see less Josiah Miles.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I think that Josiah, he's played some pretty impactful minutes and done some great things. But again, I think what it boils down to is Connerway is still, to me, better than Josiah Miles. A lot of that does have to do with minutes played and just whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see what DDV does over the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good week for Indiana. I think that the emergence of Reed Bailey, he was good, not incredible in the Purdue game, but he outplayed their bigs, which I did not think was going to happen at the beginning of the season.
He didn't score a lot against Purdue,
but he was great.
His defense, he was drawing hard fouls on them.
He still outscored both of their bigs combined.
That's true.
Clough had 2. Jacobson had 3. He had 9.
He played his role. I mean, I think I texted you earlier in that game.
Nice. He was a very good rim protector in that one.
I mentioned it earlier. Silenced a lot of haters. I was on that. I was pretty out on Reed Bailey. I texted you during the Purdue game, and I was just if there's one guy I didn't want to see in the court right now, it's Reed Bailey.
Yeah, and then he popped off.
And then later, I'm never mind. If his role is to just go in there and disrupt their bigs, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think his rim protection that he can provide has been essential. The Sam Alexis, Reed Bailey minutes distribution is going to be so interesting going forward. Now that Reed Bailey has put together some good performances and has
I was
been
intrigued.
Able to finish at the rim.
I was intrigued when I saw they were both on the court at the same time in overtime against UCLA.
Yeah.
Granted, that has a lot to do with the foul outs before Reed fouled out. But I was okay, is this now the opportunity where Reed Bailey, pops off and shoots a 3? And he was lingering around the perimeter a couple times. I don't know if you saw it. And I was okay, if he gets an outlet pass here, if someone kicks it out to him, like, is he going to shoot a three? Because he's supposed to be that stretch big, and he hasn't shot a three yet. And he shoots at a pretty decent. He shoots at a pretty decent clip, though.
Yeah,
but again, circumstances there. So it's really going to be interesting to see kind of how they proceed with everything we saw this week.
But they're looking like a tournament team in the way that they're playing, and their resume now is good. So that's positive momentum for the Indiana Hoosiers being the Hickory Team of the Week again. Well deserved. Let's talk about Indiana State. They went down a little bit from 196 to 207 in Torvik. They had an 0-2 week, unfortunately. That brings them to 9-14 on the season and 2-10 in the Missouri Valley Conference. So they're right there with Valpo. Not Valpo. They're right there with Evansville, right above them. They played and lost to Illinois Chicago, lost 76-74, and then they lost to Valpo at home 76-72 in overtime. So the one thing that you can take from both of these games is don't let your opponent score 76 points, and you might be able to win.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a tough 5-game stretch for the Sycamores.
Yes,
they're in those 5 games, they're losing by an average margin of 4.2.
Mm-hmm.
Like
this could have very easily been a 5-0. Or 5 games. 5 games.
5 games. It was over a 5-game stretch. Yeah, like it is.
Like they could be 7-5.
Yeah,
realistically.
Yeah. Again, UIC, right? They shot well. They shot pretty decent. They just turned the ball over, and I think that turnovers throughout the game were an issue, especially towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they turned the ball over 21 times to UIC's 11.
Yeah. They just can't close games right now. I mean, UIC, like, they were up 2, send them to the line, with 7 left, on a bad foul, like tie game, and then they turn the ball over under the basket, lose game. That just sucks. Like, that's just bad luck.
They probably win this game if they only have 20 turnovers.
Yeah.
Instead of 21.
That one turnover.
The one.
Valpo, I knew that they were going to lose this one as soon as it went to the last foul, because one, it was a tie game and they fouled with like 0.1 seconds or 0.3 seconds or whatever. Carter Hopoy missed both free throws, which is crazy. But the foul was on
the machine.
Yeah, it was on the machine. It was on Ian Scott. He fouled out, and I was like, oh, they're not winning it without him. And they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, in general, right, Valpo, they dominated the glass. Indiana State got out-rebounded. And when they get out-rebounded, they just don't have the track record. They're 3-11 in games where they get out-rebounded, which makes sense, right? And it's giving the other team more opportunities to make points. So it's just, you just don't want to see them get out-rebounded, period. I also realized that in conference play, when they lead at half, they're 1-6.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they were going to send Valpo home early.
So go into halftime losing.
There you go. Just down one.
Yeah.
You get an opportunity to score, just hold the ball.
Keep it within 4, dare I say.
There we go.
4.2, actually. Yeah, that's...
Let's move on. I mean, we got a lot of losses to talk about, so let's talk about some more. IU Indy, they went up from 2 weeks ago when we talked about them last. They went from 317 to 295 in Torvik. They went 0-2 this week. That brings them to 6-18 on the season, 2-11 in the Horizon League. They lost at Robert Morris 74-58, and then they lost at Youngstown State 85-76. So 2 tough road games. Games where they definitely could have used Kyler DiAugustino, who got hurt in their win over Oakland, and his presence was missed in both of these.
Yeah, the Oakland game kind of just belt to ass.
Yeah.
Like...
that. You mean the Robert Morris game?
Robert Morris, sorry. Yeah, you said Oakland, so it was on my mind. Robert Morris kind of just belt to ass. That's all my notes there. And then in general, right, we just this week, you mentioned it, we saw how important Kyler DiAugustino is to the team.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a key player that came over from West Liberty.
Yeah. He's their leading scorer.
He's their leading scorer.
I mean,
They coulda
they
used his
lost
help.
to Youngstown State, who was 0-8 when they are down or tied at halftime this season. They are now 1-8 because IUND was winning at halftime. So like their Youngstown State is like the opposite of Indiana State, I guess. Indiana State, Youngstown State, opposites. Who knew? Yeah. So got outscored by 14 in the second half. But
So what would happen if they
met,
played?
they'd be tied at halftime, and then it would be irrelevant.
All right, well, let's move on to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is 91 in Torvik. That is down from 86. They are hitting a tough stretch. They went 0-2 this week. They're 11-11 overall, 2-7 in the ACC. They lost to Virginia 100-97 in double overtime. And then they lost at Syracuse 86-72 in regulation.
Let me tell you some results here.
Okay.
Because I think when it's all said and done, this team is going to lead the state in close losses. So 1 point loss at Ohio State. 3 point loss at home to Purdue Fort Wayne. 1 point loss at Cal. And then a 3 point loss to Virginia in double overtime. All very, very winnable games. Like I'd even put like Kansas, 10-point loss, winnable game. Houston, 10-point loss, winnable game. But that's when you lost your starting point guard. Like, their record is going to be terrible. They're 11-11. It's going to get worse. They might not win 15 games. They're going to have a losing record, I think, almost guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, I mean, how hot do we think Micah's seat is right now?
Burning, I think. I think. I mean, I don't. He was supposed to be the guy.
Does the administration say, okay, Micah or Marcus Burton not playing?
Like
we talked about this too.
If he isn't fired, it is because of that, and because like they're not quitting. Like Jalen Harrelson has been very good. Cole Serta was good against Virginia. Like they have shown fight. Like this team isn't just laying over and like taking it. Like they're fighting.
Yeah,
they just are not winning. Like that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, wins matter, and I don't think it's going to be a very positive review to say like, well, we're 11-11, but we easily could have been 16-6. You know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's disappointing because like the season doesn't go this way. Clearly, if Marcus Burton doesn't ever get hurt.
Yeah, and I mean a big thing with this team in general, we always kind of knew it is like if they're not hitting their threes, then they're going to have a tough time winning. And my thought processes around this is like, okay, you take Marcus Burton out, that changes your offense pretty drastically, and it limits your opportunities to make those threes because Harrelson's running a lot of the one. Like he's kind of running the offense a lot more now than with Burton.
Right, but if you could have him coming off ball, it'd be so good.
Yeah, and that's kind of more of what his role was intended to be, I believe.
He was not the lead guard.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how things continue to play out.
Yeah, I can absolutely see them, keeping Shrewsbury, but I think that they have justification, but I think that they can defend it either way.
Yeah, and you got a lot of these guys coming back too. Like Harrelson.
Hopefully. There's
in terms of eligibility.
Yes.
I mean Harrelson, there was talks that he could be an NBA prospect. I think coming out of high school.
You're right.
And I don't think after this season, and just based on how other freshmen
you've got the league, the draft is pretty stacked this year, but you've got like Brady Kohler, who can take over the 5 spot, like when Carson Tout is gone like that, and he has shown promise, like he did, he played well this week, so you've got promise here. But I like to
think that at minimum he gets another year.
I think it'll be one more year, and he goes like this is make or break.
Yeah, just because you've got all of your guys coming back, because Braden and Marcus are both still juniors, so.
Yeah.
And then Harrelson, obviously, if he comes back, doesn't if any of them don't transfer, right? Then I think that there's bright spots there. They're all a year older kind of thing.
Absolutely.
But moving on to Purdue Fort Wayne, they're 221 in Torvik. That is down from up from 240 from 2 weeks ago. They went 1-1 this week, so another team that got a win. 14-9 overall, 8-4 in the Horizon. They lost to Oakland 74-65, and they won over Robert Morris 83-71. Oakland game. Oakland's just kind of the truth.
They're very good.
They're very good. They're obviously at this point in time not the best team in the conference, but they're right up there with them.
Yeah, I think they're second right behind Wright State.
Yeah.
It would have been more interesting if they had won, had PFW had won. 13 of 40 is what PFW shot from three. That's insane. They took more threes in the first half than Oakland did in the entire game. And Oakland seemed happy to let them do it. Oakland outscored them 36-20 in the paint and shot 13 more free throws. I mean, when you're shooting 43s, you're not going to get to the line nearly ever. And Oakland let them play that game and just said, you know what, you can't make them all.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. And I mean, even with this loss, right, Purdue Fort Wayne's still sitting pretty decent in the conference. They're still in third.
Yeah.
So they're still up there. Oakland was just better.
Oakland's good. I mean, Greg Campy's a great coach. So is Kaufman. But tough game. I mean, they got into the trap of getting forced out of the paint to shoot so many threes and just kind of fell into that trap. They shot 22 threes against Robert Morris and had 32 points in the paint. They take what they're given, and I just think that they would have liked to have shot a little bit better against Oakland. So I'm believing in this team though. I think that they've got a real they are a true contender to come out in the Horizon League tournament, especially if they're on the other side from Wright State or something, and Wright State gets knocked off, or I think that they can definitely beat anybody on any given night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shout out to them. Big win on homecoming against Robert Morris. And kind of to your point, right? They just shot smarter threes and converted on more of them. Mm-hmm. And that kind of just is the tail of the tape.
Yep. Let's talk about Purdue. So Purdue went down a little bit from the last time we talked about them, from 5-9 in Torvik. They had a 1-1 week, which brings them to 18-4 overall and 8-3 in the Big Ten. They started this week with a loss at Indiana, 72-67, and then a big win at Maryland, 93-63. And to kind of give a little bit of background, this Indiana loss was their third loss in a row.
Yeah.
We missed the week where we talked about the first two.
Yeah, I texted you after the Indiana game. It's a realization I had during the game. I fear that I temporarily may have cursed Purdue, because on our last episode 2 weeks ago, I mentioned a couple stats / milestones that were upcoming, kind of impending. I mentioned that they were 5 straight wins away from tying their best conference start ever. Their present best conference start is 12-0, so 5 more wins. At the time they were 7-0, would have gotten them there. And then I also mentioned the stat that this senior class was 13 wins away from being the winningest seniors ever. And then until today, they had not won a game after I said that. So their 3-game losses, their 3 losses that were back to back to back, all came after I made that statement. And dare I say, I spoke it out loud, and me saying it out loud helped break the curse. True. Because I expunged the negativity.
Yeah, you got it out. You got it out, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to Illinois last week, and it was a pretty surprising loss because, Purdue played well. Other than Fletcher Laura couldn't really shoot. Some people didn't play super well, and they got destroyed on the glass. But, they played a pretty good game, so much that they're the first team in the last 20 years to lose while shooting over 56%, score 80, and have 3 or fewer turnovers. Like, that's just a crazy stat. But you lose would be when someone like Keaton Wagler drops 47 points as a true freshman and only misses 2 shots. Mackey record.
Yeah.
Like, we thought Jalen Hood-Schifino came in and did something crazy. Well, Keaton Wagler did it. And after the game, he was like, most I ever scored in high school is 32. It's nuts.
An interesting stat that came out of that Illinois game. Actually, I want to bring it up. So Braden Smith had 12 assists, which marked his 16th career game with 12 or more, which was the most in the Big Ten over the last 20 years by 11 games.
That's crazy.
Cassius Winston, the one who held the assist record until this season, most he ever had was 5 with 12 or more.
Weird.
That's it. Yeah. The IU game, I mean, kind of a little bit of a curse. If they're ranked 13th or higher, they tend to lose there. They've lost 4 of their last 5 appearances in Assembly Hall when they're ranked 13th or higher.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Kaufman-Renn and Braden Smith were good. Everyone else was kind of dookie, and I think Braden Smith needs to start scoring more if they're gonna win some more games. Fletcher Lawyer was pretty terrible and has been in a shooting slump for a while. Like, his numbers have not been great this year, honestly, and Twitter's been fired up about it, dude. Like, they have been hating him. And so what does he do? What does he do next? He goes and scores 29 and had 7 threes in the very next game at Maryland. So hopefully shooting slump is over and he's moving on, because people were pretty mad on Twitter. But much needed bounce back game and much needed performance by Fletcher Lawyer against Maryland.
I'm another thing too, that over that 3-game losing skid, opponents shot 43% from 3 against Purdue and averaged 13 made 3-pointers. So not great. What do they do in Maryland? They fixed that. Maryland only made 6 of their 17 attempts. But that game was just built to ass. They had a players only meeting after the Indiana loss, and that seemed to really get the team fired up and on the right track again.
Yeah, guess it worked.
Southern Indiana, they are 338 in Torvik. That is up from 341 2 weeks ago. They went 0-2 this week. They're 5-17 overall and 2-10 in the conference, the Ohio Valley Conference. They lost to Lindenwood 73-60. They lost to SIUE 58-46. Lindenwood, big thing for me, fast break. Lindenwood scored 30 points on the fast break. Southern Indiana, 8. Anything else in the Lindenwood game?
No.
Okay.
It's watching this team does not inspire hope and joy in me. Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, SIUE, is the home of our man we were a fan of. I say good friend, but I've never met the guy.
Yeah.
Jack Campion. He was the leading scorer in the game, had 15. So
his return to Liberty Arena.
His return. And they Southern Indiana only had one guy in double digits, Curtis Devin. But
yeah, I just like to pretend the second half didn't happen. They were leading at halftime, I believe, and then came out and I scored maybe like 15 points, 19 points in the second half. 15 for 53 from the field.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. And that's all I have. Let's move on to Valpo.
Greener pastures.
Valpo, from the furthest south to the furthest north team in the state.
Are they more north than Notre Dame?
Good question. I don't know.
I'll investigate.
I like to pretend that they are. But Valpo, they're 145, and Torvik, that is up from 156. They went 1-1 this week. They're 11-11 overall, 5-6 in the Valley. They lost to Belmont 78-77. They won at Indiana State, as we mentioned earlier, 76-72 in overtime. Talked about it a bit with the Indiana State game, but kind of inverse and related. here. 6 of Valpo's last 9 losses have come by 6 points or fewer. Not quite as bad as the 4.2 for Indiana State, but Valpo has dropped the last 5 games decided by 5 points or fewer. We saw that here, obviously, with the 1-point loss. Valpo also hadn't lost by a single point since their loss to Evansville in 2024.
Yeah, they have had some close ones, but like again, this team fights, and they did get swept by Belmont, but I think that they've lost both Belmont games by like a combined 3 points or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. And another thing, Cheney just absolutely balls out against Belmont. I want them to play every game against Belmont. His 2 highest scoring outputs this season, both against Belmont.
Nice.
He had
he's been electric, dude.
Yeah.
He was electric to start the season. Now it's JT Pettigrew's time. Owen Deese's, they've been killing it. But like, I mean, this team, like losing to Belmont by 1, like Belmont's at the top of the league. Like this is the team to beat, and they lost by 1. They almost won at Belmont. Like this team can beat them in St. Louis. They can absolutely beat Belmont in St. Louis. I think that it's just a matter of getting the right seed for them in Arch Madness. They just have to get the right seed. They have to avoid playing on that first day, get out of the 8-9 game or 9-10 game, whatever it is. And, well, I guess they might not. I don't know. It would be tough for them to avoid the first day because then they'd have to be top 4.
Yeah, they're currently in 8th.
So, but it's not too out of reach. I mean, they're 5-6. What's the 4th place team's record?
4th place is Bradley at 8-4.
Yeah, that's not that far.
No, but there's also 2 teams at 6-6. So like,
yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, they're there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Belmont's just at the top at 10-2. Like they're a good team, losing both games pretty close to Belmont. Like that shows they can compete. And we also saw what they did in the Valley the Arch Madness last year.
Powell's just got the magic there.
They
dude.
just went on a run. Like
yeah,
that's what they're gonna do. The Indiana State game, I didn't realize this, but it makes a little bit of sense. Valpo's first road win in the conference play.
That's crazy, actually. That's nuts.
Also interesting, Valpo's last 3 wins over Indiana State, all overtime.
That's what I want. Every in-state matchup needs to be close and interesting the whole way through. It's not fun when somebody gets blown out. But yeah, I mean, they shot 3 for 14 from 3 in the Indiana State game. Like Indiana State wasn't really much better, but Jesse McClung got to go back. Their assistant coach, who we've had on the show, our friend, he got to go back to Terre Haute, where he used to coach at St. Mary of the Woods, and got to go back and get a win there. So happy for him. Sad that it had to come at the hands, to another team that we root for in the state. But I mean, they really the way they played in the second half, they deserved to win this game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they pulled it off.
Yep. Now we move on to Adam's favorite part of the show. I think I'm putting words in his mouth, but
not going to confirm nor deny.
Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week award. So Adam, who is the Week 13 Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week?
The Jimmy Chitwood Player of the Week this week is Nick Dorn from Indiana. The state of Indiana, especially down in Bloomington, everyone was getting a Dorn addiction, right, with his play. He had 18 points against Purdue. He went 4 for 9 from 3, just showing up as a shooter, that other shooter that the team needed to really just get this team rolling. And then he follows that up with a performance at UCLA, 26 points. He went 6 of 15 from 3, had 7 rebounds, was just clearly the piece that this team needed to unlock the NCAA tournament, I guess. Like, he's been playing more minutes, he's healthy, and he's leading this team to victory. He is that piece that they needed. So Jimmy Chitwood performance this week out of Nick Dorn.
Absolutely. Well deserved for Dorn and all of the Dorn addicts in the state of Indiana. Now we look at next week a little bit. So, Adam, what games have your attention?
Well, we've got 2 in-state matchups, and they both include Evansville. Evansville hosts Indiana State on the 3rd. That's Tuesday. They host Indiana State at 8 p.m. and Indiana State is Indiana State's 1.5 point favorites, and then they follow that up with what is this, Friday? Yeah, Friday. Evansville goes to Valpo, where they're 12.5-point underdogs. So going to be a tough in-state week for Evansville, but they get to travel to two of our other teams that we talk about. So that'll be fun to watch. That's one less game to watch, I guess, for us, for each team.
Big one here that I've got, Indiana. They're on their West Coast trip still. They go to USC. They're 2-point favorites there. Indiana's playing much better as of late. So, hoping that kind of pans off. It is a very late game for us East Coasters. It's Tuesday at 10 p.m. Adam and I were talking about earlier. We'll be watching it, but we'll be very sleepy. So, looking forward to that game. And then another one that I've got kind of on my mind, Ball State. They play Louisiana Monroe. That is the game 2 of the MAC Sunbelt Challenge.
Yeah.
It's the
away game, right?
Away game. Yes, that is correct. That game is Saturday the 7th at 3 p.m. Not a single game on Sunday next week.
No Sunday games, no Monday games. Everything's packed Tuesday through Saturday.
Just the way we like it.
Yeah. Butler goes to Marquette on Saturday at 2. It's a toss-up game there. They got to win at Marquette. I mean, no doubt. They have to win that game. And then another game. We talked about Bradley being in that spot where Valpo wants to be in the Missouri Valley standings. Well, they get a chance to try and knock this team off on Tuesday. Valpo goes to Bradley. They're 3.5-point underdogs. Can they get a second road win in the conference? I hope so. They need to knock. This is the team that they need to beat if they want to take their spot, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, more than a 1-point swing in the standings because they're gonna give them a loss and then take a win. So it'll be a huge boost for Valpo.
Yep, for sure. Anything else?
No, that's really it.
Okay, let's expand our lens a little bit. Let's look at the other 49 states and what happened last week.
Should we update everybody on the teams that are left standing?
Yes.
Atop the mountaintops?
Yes.
We lost. We lost Nebraska ball, guys. Nebraska ball fell to Michigan. And then it just gets worse, man. They lost to Illinois, too. They beat Nebraska beat Illinois at Illinois earlier this season, and then Illinois pays them back. And Keaton Wagler, man, he's a beast. He took down Nebraska
Purdue
ball.
unlocked Keaton Wagler, and then Michigan just broke Nebraska ball.
Yeah.
So it was like a David versus Goliath type situation, and
yeah, I think they could have won this game if Rink Mast wasn't like dying.
the Michigan game.
No, the Illinois game.
Oh,
yes, they could have used him in the Michigan game for sure. They would have won that one, but I think they definitely would have. Like Rink Mast played, but he was like a dead man out there.
Yeah,
like they had to take him to like get fluids and stuff, so he like didn't go. He just was not there. So our last two remaining teams, there were just 3 last time we talked, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So our last 2 teams are Arizona and Miami of Ohio. They are both 22-0, and I think, based on the absolute gauntlet Arizona has to go through to end the season, I think they literally go to Kansas next.
Yeah, I think so.
They are about to go through a gauntlet, and so I think Miami of Ohio seems like the most likely to go into the conference tournament undefeated.
They do have Arizona has a week off. They don't play until Saturday.
Oh man, thank God.
And they play Oklahoma State. But then they turn around 2 days later and play at Kansas.
Okay.
So, but then they also play Arizona's remaining games at Kansas, home against Texas Tech, home against BYU, at Houston, at Baylor, home against Kansas, home against Iowa State. Absolute juggernaut of a remaining.
They're not making if they make it through that.
They are still
undefeated.
favored. They are still favored in all but the Houston game.
I know, but if they make it through that, we're talking about like this might be the best team ever. Like that's insane.
I think so.
That's
because
insane.
all of those teams really good. Then Miami, I think Miami just clears.
Yeah, they're gonna make it.
My question. I asked this to you earlier, and we got it written down. I think it was yesterday or the day before. if by some chance Miami gets to like the semifinals or even the finals of the MAC tournament and they lose,
Yeah.
first loss of the season,
Yeah.
do we have a 2-bid MAC?
I don't think so. I know that I lean no, and I'm pretty heavily no, think it's a no if my thing will ever pop up. I don't think that they do because their numbers kind of suck.
Yeah,
Like,
they still are pretty comfortably in a lot of brackets.
yes, but because they're expected to win the MAC, like they're expected to get the MAC auto bid. Like right now in Torvik, they're 82. Their best win on the season is over Akron, who's in their conference, and then their best win over that is Wright State. Like, this team didn't play a single power conference team.
I will say Akron does in a lot of brackets. They're only in four. Never mind. I say in a lot of brackets. They're a 12 seed in all the brackets that have them. I'm interested to see.
Yeah, which will be like one of the higher, 1-bid league.
But Miami is in 95 brackets.
Yeah, because they're expected to win the MAC.
Yeah, but that means that there are 2 brackets at least that have both Akron and Miami.
Right. I just think so.
And
like,
these people they know how to do brackets more than I do.
I just don't think that there's like a case to put them in because
I don't think
they cannot get a good win.
Yeah, I agree. It was just food for thought, something I thought about a couple weeks ago.
If they beat, especially if they lose, well, no. If they lose to Akron in the conference championship, maybe.
Yeah.
And they are sweating it out on Selection Sunday. Just because, look, I know Indiana State, when they went to the NIT, did not have the same resume, right? Like, they weren't a one-loss team. But they had an opportunity to win power conference games. They just didn't win them. And, they also had a win over Drake, which was a really good win. But it's just, I think that they just don't have the numbers. I'm trying to look up Indiana State from what year was that? 2024?
Yeah.
So 2024, Indiana State finished the season at 42. At the time of at the time of the conference, whatever thing, at the time of Selection Sunday, they were ranked 43rd in Torvik.
Okay.
And they had a win over 60 Bradley was their best win, it looks like. No. Yes.
51 Drake. During the regular season.
Yeah. And then 2 wins over 60 Bradley. So they didn't have any good wins either. They did have a couple, they did have that horrific loss to Illinois State. So, I'm going to say no, but it'll be close.
Yeah.
If they don't win. But I do expect them to win, right?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I saw it really interesting. A lot of people were comparing on Reddit Arizona and Miami to Florida's team last year. Just kind of the apples to oranges type thing, which is always just funny because comparing Arizona to Florida last year, okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Comparing Miami of Ohio to Florida's national championship team last year, kind of odd.
I think it's funny.
Oh, I love it.
I think they're funny. Love it. I wanted to talk about, so there's been a lot of development on players who have left college basketball or never played. So they've been letting pro players who played, pro ball in Europe come to college basketball, and they've just been allowed to do it. And they've been signing people at any point in time. And it's been okay, whatever. They never played in college. They never played in the NBA. It's a whole different league. That's really the only option over there, right? I think. I don't know. I don't know if Rome University has a basketball team. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. I should have looked into it, but we've seen them just kind of let this has just been happening, right? And it's okay, where do we draw the line? Because the NCAA is just like, yeah, you're fine. You can play immediately. Well, then Baylor gets into the mix, and I don't know how to say this dude's last name.
Najee.
Okay. They get James Najee, who was drafted in 2023. Drafted. But he went to the G League. Okay. He went to the G League. And it's like,
We talked about that too in our last episode.
yeah, we're like, feels like that shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Like, you were drafted.
Yeah.
Never played an NBA minute. Goes to Baylor. They say whatever. And then what happened next? Alabama comes
Charles
in.
Bediako.
Yeah, Alabama comes in. They get Charles Bediako after a temporary restraining order. A temporary restraining order allowed him to play. He was undrafted in 2023, so drafted. But he also played for Alabama in 2023, and he just signed a 2-way contract. That played, and now was like, yeah, I'm just gonna come back. And turns out the judge was an Alabama booster. Which they then recused themselves from the case because that's a conflict. That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, a big booster too.
Yeah. So it just like got crazy, and like people are like, we have to draw the line somewhere. Draw the line at James Najee. Like, draw the line there to me.
Yeah.
If you ever like,
if you had a professional contract.
Yeah. If you received
a paycheck from the NBA.
Yeah. Or like you had to, if you enter your name into the draft and sign with an agent or whatever, or you go into the, like go through the, you get rid of your eligibility. It's been that way forever.
Yeah.
And either get rid of eligibility requirements and just say like, whatever, like as long as you didn't go into the NBA, like you're fine. Like say that then. That's fine.
Like
like this isn't like he went to the G League Ignite. Like he didn't go to like a prep college alternative. He went to he was playing against Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. That's like going to like the prep programs, like Ignite, whatever. That I can get over that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because it's still high school aged kids.
Yeah.
Or like recent grads.
They're college age, right?
College age, yeah. But really, what is the college age anymore? That's whatever. But if you have a contract, if you're playing against pros who are hurt and coming back, or have played NBA minutes,
right? Like
and
you're telling me
you were enrolled college, left to go do this, signed a contract to do this. Like the Ignite thing, okay, whatever. They went from high school to the Ignite, and the other teams that are in that same kind of boat.
Yeah.
As an alternative. You played in college.
Yeah, you had your chance. You played
in college.
It's just ridiculous because now we've got probably the most ridiculous one. And I'm going to read a tweet from you from Travis Branham because I liked the way that he put it. It's hilarious. So Amari Bailey has now entered the scene, right? He
re-entered.
Yeah, re-entered the scene. So here's just his timeline, right? 2017 is the year we're talking about. He commits to DePaul.
9 years ago.
March 2018, he decommits from DePaul. Okay. December 2018, he commits to UCLA. And then in July of the next year, he decommits from UCLA. Comes around 2021, February 2021, he commits to UCLA again. He says, you know what? I'm actually going to go to UCLA. He plays from 2022 to 2023. He averages 11 points per game. Okay. Then in April 2023, he declares for the draft, or as he phrases it, decommits from college basketball. He was selected number 41. 2023 to 2024, he played for the Greensboro Swarm, and he played 10 NBA games with the Charlotte Hornets. 10 games. Okay, 24-25 season, he plays for the Long Island Nets. He's traded to the Iowa Wolves, so he's in the G League. Now in 2026, what's he doing? He's recommitting to college basketball. What? Like, is he just trying to do it? Like, what he had? I can't find the quote right now. He said some quote of like, like I feel like, I basically like didn't get the opportunity or whatever. Like, why is it so long that I want to return to college? It's like, dog, no one's stopping you from going to college. We're stopping you from playing college basketball.
You saw an NBA court.
Yeah, you can't just be like, I'm gonna get some NIL now.
I mean, this is like, to me, this is like J.R. Smith going back to college. Great.
Yeah.
Well, he still had eligibility to play athletics, but he wasn't allowed to play basketball.
Right.
He went and played golf.
Yeah, which is totally reasonable to me.
So, like, can LeBron go back to college?
He never went. So can he go?
Well,
yeah.
Can he go to college, and does he have 4 years eligibility? Based on,
I mean, if they let Amari Bailey, yes, he should absolutely go and play for Arizona and just play with Bryce James, because that's the only way he's going to be playing with Bryce James.
That's the only way Bryce James is going to be playing.
Exactly,
because he hasn't seen the floor this year.
It's just and Amari Bailey was at the IU UCLA game. Like, dog is just trying to get a judge to give him a temporary restraining order to let him go play. That's insane.
And I need to understand how temporary restraining orders work, because
it basically just says, like, yeah, no, your rules don't apply. They can do what they want now. Pretty much. Like, that's what Terrence Shannon Jr. did when he was
true.
like, he got a temporary restraining order, said, no, you can actually play because you were allowed to play.
Yeah.
And like, he's the first player who's played in regular season NBA games to push for college eligibility. He already played, and like, he left college, wasn't very good, went to the NBA, wasn't highly mocked. He knew that he knew he wasn't going to be drafted high. Mm-hmm. Everyone told him so. He went anyway. Like, you can't let him come back.
No.
And the NCAA has to absolutely do something. And I will be that spokesperson. Hire me. But that's all I have to say on that, man. My God, it's ridiculous.
What else? Dusty May aura farmed the shit out of the
Izzone.
The Izzone.
Oh my God, dude.
Legend. Like,
that picture is going to be hanging. If that's not in every sports bar in Ann Arbor right now, they're slacking.
Yeah. It was iconic. It was also Izzo's 71st birthday, but Michigan got the one. First time beating them since 2023.
Did you hear his reasoning on why he did that? Why he went out there? So he was saying, because like, this was before the game started, right?
Yeah.
It was like an hour, I think, and like an hour before the game started. So when he said when they were arriving to the arena, like, the student section line was so long, like all wrapping around the building or whatever, so long. And he was like, that's crazy. So before the team even went out to like shoot warm-ups and stuff, there was no one in the stands but the Izzone, I think.
Right.
And he went and just like peeked out of the tunnel just to see like if they'd let the students in or not. Tunnel was right by the Izzone, so like, they're chirping at him, and he's like, he said, I can't turn, like, go back in. They're gonna use that, like, they won't. So he said, all right, my only option, and he just went out there and sat right in front of the Izzone. And that picture is
legendary.
It goes unreasonably hard.
It's
one of the hardest sports pictures that doesn't have a player in it. Like, that's crazy. Like, there's like the D Wade and Bron picture when they're on the heel. Like, that's iconic.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I didn't know he had it like that.
No. Yeah, St. Louis absolutely on a hot streak presently. Sorry, the dogs are barking and it's very distracting to me. Yeah, St. Louis beat Dayton by 30. Absolute belt to ass. After the game, Shirts takes off the belt, starts banging on the chair, pulling the Michael Irving from Miami's run to the national championship where they lost to Indiana. And then he went to the bar. He sent out a tweet, right? It was like, student section, thank you. I appreciate everything you helped us. I'll see you at the bar.
I think it's
Shots
Humphreys or something. It was like closed for a bit, and then they sucked, and then they opened it back up. Now St. Louis is good again.
Yeah,
Omen.
and Shirts was behind the bar, pouring shots, ripping shots with the students. It has more coaches need to be like that. I loved that Holtman did that when DePaul won against whoever they won against, and now Shirts did like this is. And Shirts is always a guy that we've liked.
Yeah,
right. We've been a big fan of him since the
We
show
started our
started.
show. Yeah.
And so just seeing him do that, I think more coaches need to do that. Like, I want to see DDV in Kilroy's.
Well, he bought everyone a drink at the upstairs.
That's true.
He did
That is true.
So I
That is-
I like this, like, it's not like PC, you know, like this breaking down of barriers almost, like,
They let coaches stop wearing suits, and now they're at the bar.
now they're buying drinks. Like, that's fun. Like, if you're gonna have a fan base that loves you, you got to do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. And you know, they're gonna remember this year at St. Louis when he leaves them at the end of the season, and does this somewhere else. But like, he's gonna be probably the number one candidate for any job that opens this season. And you know, he could stay. I just don't think he will. Depends on what's open. Like, Kansas State could open.
I don't think that's an improvement.
Arizona State is going to open, but then you know, you get to play.
Do you want to? I don't.
The thing is, though, I think he was going to end. I think if he hadn't had this agreement with St. Louis, he would have been at Louisville right now. And like, you're not going to find anything that will open this year better than Louisville.
No,
because it's almost impossible to find something better than Louisville.
Right. I think.
Like, what else could open? He's not going to go to DePaul.
I think he'll go somewhere in the Big East. I
could see him taking Providence.
I don't think DePaul, but Providence potentially. Hot seat for Shaka and at Marquette.
Not this season. They won't fire. I mean, he could do one more. And also he does have the option. Like, if the job that he wants, that if he doesn't get a good enough offer, he's not gonna leave. He's gonna stay at St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
So like, because he's got it so good. Kind of like how Dusty May did with FAU, seemingly waiting for a certain job to open. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have his pick this season or the next offseason whenever he leaves. But yeah, I mean, I love this guy. Josh Schertz is great.
Yep.
Did you see the whole debacle at the UCF Texas Tech game?
Yes.
Dude, this is so funny.
Yes.
So UCF beat number 11 Texas Tech, kind of. They thought they beat Texas Tech. UCF students rushed the floor. Like, UCF is pretty good this year.
Yeah.
And they've been knocking people off in their building like every year pretty much, just getting a big upset. They storm the floor, and then over the PA's like, the game's not over yet. The refs are at the monitor. They're like, the game's not over yet. They put 0.2 back on the clock, shoot free throw, time runs out. They storm the court again. And like, I appreciate that Grant McCaslin was like laughing about it on the sideline. Like he was a cool guy about it. But it's so funny that they got called off.
Did you see the 3 techs that Kansas had?
I saw the graphic, but I did not.
I didn't see it.
this.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game either. I just saw that. So Kentucky, I said Kansas. Kentucky, they beat Arkansas 85-77.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, Kentucky had 3 techs called against them in the span of 38 seconds.
I saw one of them was like, the guy basically said like, "Let's go" to the camera or something, and I was like, "That's crazy! Like, that should not have been a tech."
That's on par with me with like hanging on the rim.
It's even less. Like, he didn't even say it to anybody.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Hang on the rim.
He said it to us.
Yeah. Well, not us. We were watching.
Well, yeah, we established
Said
that.
it to me in the Twitter clip.
Yeah, I do want to go back and find the video to like actually see what happened in that 38 seconds, because that's just crazy. And then we saw a battle for the number 1 draft pick with Baylor and Kansas. Darren Peterson against AJ. BYU and Kansas. Yeah, I don't know why I said Baylor. The B, I think. Darren Peterson against AJ DeBonsa. Nets and Pacers GMs were both there.
Understandable.
Just chopping it up. Makes sense. Interesting thing to me, Darren Peterson made a case on why he should be the first. They didn't play the final 16 minutes of the game. Didn't score a basket at all with a minute left in the first half, or at all in the second half. Obviously, he played a little bit of the second half, but he was cramping up, so he was sidelined for reasonable reasons. Had 18 points. AJ had 17. AJ played a lot more minutes. So, hey, a lot of people are like, okay, Darren Peterson, he's not playing a whole lot this year because he's hurt, but maybe he can still be the number 1 draft pick. Also, he had a nasty poster over 2 BYU players, which was his last bucket of the game. So that's a pretty sick way to go out, is just dunking over 2 people. Interesting thing, though, is like the whole hype around this game was Darren Peterson versus AJ Bonsa, neither of which were remotely close to the leading performers on either of their respective teams. Like, BYU had a dude drop 33.
Yeah, and he's trying to. Hey, man, he saw the GMs there. He's trying to get drafted. As a fan of a team that is potentially going to have the number 1 draft pick, is going to have the very best odds to get the number 1 draft pick. Does Darren Peterson stuff concern you? Because he started the season hurt, but he's been back. But he's cramped up in multiple games. And have you seen, like, there's a lot of discourse about this cramping up stuff. Have you seen this?
That he's just like deciding what games he wants to play and what he doesn't want to play.
Yeah, that he's load managing.
Yeah.
Like, so, people have cramped up before, right?
Yep.
Obviously, in games. Yep. Happens all the time. And what do they do for the people who are cramping up? Massage guns, giving them bananas. They're giving them a bunch of water. They're giving them Pedialyte, right?
Yeah.
They're doing all this stuff. Darren Peterson is just chilling on the bench. It looks like he's like fouled out, like just isn't in the game. He's just not, like, they go up 20 and now all of a sudden he's cramping up and doesn't play and shows no signs of cramping up. There's this interest. I was following this stuff that like he was talking to their associate. Darren Peterson was talking to their associate AD during a timeout, and then after that point he didn't go back in. And then like there's apparently like video of his, like, Darren Peterson's like agent talking to their associate AD, and just like seems like they're just load management on him to show some highlights and then pull him out, which is like, as a Pacers fan, I would love to have Darren Peterson.
Right. Absolutely.
Not if he's pulling that crap, though.
So,
like,
the only thing I could think of, and this is me trying to just like spin zone it and be positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the locker room leadership and culture within the Pacers. Like, we see this guy, a stud. He's a baller. Like, you've got guys like Siakam and Halliburton. Shit, even McConnell.
Yeah,
sitting in the locker room.
They will not let you play, bro. They will kill you.
Well, but I'm saying is like, so I think that would change his mentality, and
I mean, like,
then great, but like,
but is it not concerning to just like the GMs of every team?
I would think so. Like, if I'm Pritchard and I'm seeing all this stuff, because he is. He's probably one of the most tapped in GMs.
Yeah.
Phenomenal GM.
It's just like ridiculous. Like, and like, or the other side is he had an ankle injury or something. He like messed up his ankle a couple games ago. If he is injured, do you want to draft him? Like, if he has injury problem, look at Zion. That guy was like, you got to take this guy number 1. Now, probably also shouldn't have taken Ja because of different issues, but like Zion always hurt, never played.
Hey, his injuries, he lost some weight.
There we go.
Got in better shape. His injuries have been more limited.
There we go. But like, this is a year where like Darren Peterson's not the number 1 guy you have to take. Like, you could take Devanza, you could take Cameron Boozer, like you could take those guys number 1 for fit, or if you have concerns over this, but like, I don't like it. I need to see him play some minutes.
I'll be interested to see how it changes come NCAA tournament.
I want to see it before that. I want to see him. Like,
that's fair.
Because Bill Self, I think, said like, oh, it was conditioning. Like, he was cramping up because of conditioning. But like, tell me he had a hurt ankle and he wasn't on the bike all the time. What was he doing?
True.
I don't know. It's concerning to me. I mean, we probably won't even be able to draft him anyway. We're probably going to get like the 5th pick or something.
Because it's rigged, yeah.
Because they hate us. Oklahoma. Yep. Did you see the Oklahoma City GM was at this game? Bro. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, it's... Honestly, if this is true and this is how he is as a player, he can go to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. I got one more thing, I think. Florida beat Alabama 100-72. Now this is after Alabama has Bediako, who was a G League center. He was a center. Okay? And they brought in a center from the G League
and a G League dropout.
Yeah, and they had this this whole debate in the pregame press conference talking about the game. Todd Golden was saying that it's basically ridiculous that they can get this guy from the NBA, and then Nate Oates was like, it's ridiculous that their bigs can sit in the paint for 5, 6, 10 seconds, and then Todd Golden apparently took that personally against their G League center and scored 72 points in the paint, which is they're the first team to score 70 points in the paint against a power conference team in the SEC ever that we know of,
right?
Which is crazy. That's crazy. So Todd Golden, petty. And then after it in his post-game conference, he's like, yeah, we did that. And, I felt like our guys were in the paint for 1, 2, 3 seconds. just having a little rivalry is always good. So
I love that stuff.
Like to see
kind
that.
of stuff. Also, hilarious post-game press conference snippet. Rick Barnes, longtime coach of Tennessee Volunteers, literally in the post-game press conference amid, several weeks ago we talked about fixed games and players
point shaving,
things like that. Rick Barnes literally goes, sometimes I wonder if my guys are betting on the games. Mind you, this was after an 8-point win over Auburn.
He's like, not close enough, guy. Too
He
close
was
for comfort.
Our passes just weren't good. They must be point shaving. Or betting on the games at least. So another interesting thing. A couple weeks ago we talked about assist to scorer things, assist to turnover ratio. Very interesting stat to look at. There's a list that was put out today. Actually, a graphic of the assist to turnover ratio among players averaging at least 40 assists per 40 minutes, or 5 assists per 40 minutes. This is among high major and Ken Palm top 50 teams. The list as follows. Number 1, Sam Hoiberg, 5.5 assists per turnover. Pretty great. That's a 99 in the assist to turnover ratio.
Mm-hmm. And who's the next person we care about?
Well, first off, I want to point out Sam Hoiberg, former walk-on player. Now he's a senior scholarship player. Phenomenal. Then moving down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place, a 6'1" senior for the Indiana Hoosiers, Connor Enright. He's got 646 minutes played. He's got 3.59 assists, and that's a 98 in the assist per turnover ratio. So baller there. Then a little further down on the list, unfortunately, it's not our Braden Smith, but the other Braden Smith out of Gonzaga Jr. He's got a 97 in the ratio.
So Sam is he's on pace to break the record. The record is Monty Morris, who had a 5.17 a couple years ago. He's at a 5.5. Today, he helped his chance at the record because this was posted before the Nebraska game today. Today, Sam Hoiberg, 6 assists, 0 turnovers.
Hell yeah.
Just absolutely cooking. I love Sam Hoiberg.
He's a fun player to watch. Very exciting stuff. The interesting thing is he's averaging exactly 5.5 assists. So
it's awesome.
Doesn't turn the ball over hardly ever. And then another thing too, just we're at the midway point in the conference season, right? We are in February. We are a month away from March. 28 days this year.
Yeah.
Pull up bracket matrix, right? Want to look at where bracketologists have our teams. There are 3 teams. There are 3 TSOB teams, the state of basketball teams, that are presently in brackets pretty solidly. There's Purdue, who is presently a 3 seed, and they are in the tournament and all 97 brackets. Indiana, after this week, they're up to a 10 seed, so they were pretty firmly probably not going to make the tournament.
Yeah.
In a lot of people's eyes, this week kind of shaped that up. There are 51 brackets that have them. Granted, this is not fully updated. Right. There are several brackets that have not updated since the 30th, even some dating back further than that. But the most updated consensus is that they are a 10 seed in the tournament based on the 51 brackets. And then our third team, favorites to us, Maryland Eastern Shore. They are presently a 16 seed. They are the last seed in the matrix. There's 68 teams 68 brackets have them as a 16 seeder or making the tournament. The interesting thing about Maryland Eastern Shore is they're 8-14, but they're 4-1 in the Mid-East Atlantic Conference.
They're first, go Hawks.
So shout out to them. Possibly having 3 state of basketball teams in the tournament thus far. Obviously, this does not include automatic qualifiers.
PFW
based on conference tournament wins. So, all right, that was this week. Let's look at next week. We'll get through this quickly because we know you're all just here for the guess the game. So let's get through games to look out to or out for next week.
Monday, the 2nd, our game of the day is Kansas at Texas Tech at 9 p.m. Kansas had a big win over BYU, and Texas Tech needs a big win after they're getting upset at UCF. So that's at 9 p.m. on the 2nd, Monday.
Tuesday, the 3rd, our game of the day is St. Louis at Davidson at 9 p.m. St. Louis has been absolutely electric. We talked about it quite a bit earlier. It's Josh Schertz not going to be there much longer, we don't think. So we are on borrowed time with him and with the Billikens. And this is also a top 103 matchup. So just appointment TV at this point here on out with the St. Louis Billikens.
They're beating the brakes off people. Wednesday, the 4th, our game of the day is Texas A&M at Alabama at 7 p.m. Alabama just lost to Florida, and A&M is first in the SEC, actually, by themselves. So it's their first year under Coach Bucky McMillan. And if you flash back to 2013, both of these coaches, Nate Oates and Bucky McMillan, were coaching high school. So just 13 years later, they are both coaches in the SEC, which is crazy. And I mean, McMillan was a high school coach 5 years ago. So that's really cool.
Gives me hope for my baseball coaching career.
There you go.
Thursday, the 5th, our game of the day is Lindenwood at Little Rock. That's 8 p.m. Lindenwood is 1.5 games back in the OVC race and half game back from 2nd. Little Rock is currently in 7th, so Lindenwood, it would make us feel better knowing that they just beat USI if they were to finish first place in the Ohio
Valley.
Need
to knock Little Rock down a little bit so that they can help USI out too.
Yep.
Friday, our game of the day on the 6th is UConn at St. John's at 8 p.m. Can UConn stay undefeated in the Big East? I don't know, but they're going to have to go through St. John's, who's 7-6 in the Big East, and UConn's trying to go. I guess would be 14-0 at that point. I think they have a game before this, so that's our game for Friday.
Yep, Saturday, the 7th. Our game of the day is Miami of Ohio at Marshall at 4 p.m. This is the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. We've said it before. We think that Miami clears the rest of the MAC schedule, but you got Marshall coming in from the Sunbelt. Could they be the Cinderella team that can beat Miami?
Ooh, I hope not.
Hope not.
Sure hope not. We are Marshall. We didn't beat Miami. Sunday, the 8th, our game of the day is Central Florida at Cincinnati at 2 p.m. That's just a classic American Athletic Conference matchup, man. Don't look too far into what conference they're in now. It's just a classic AAC game, just like Arizona State is a classic Pac-12 game. That's at 2 p.m. though on Sunday, so tune into that, I guess.
All right. Now we're to the Guess the Game portion of the show. I believe I give my clue first.
That works for me.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah.
My Week 13 Guess the Game. We've got colorful demons invading the Holy Land out east.
Colorful demons. Makes me think of the the DePaul Blue Demons, and then the Holy Land. Wait, Holy Land out east. Colorful Demons definitely makes me think of DePaul. Holy Land. Providence. What else is out there? Providence. Villanova. I got no thoughts beyond team names here. I'm sticking with the Big East. This is the out east. I'm just going to go DePaul, Providence. Final answer.
That is correct. The DePaul Blue Demons at Providence Friars, Catholic institution in the Big East.
They're all Catholic.
Well,
basically.
That is Saturday, September 7th at 4 p.m.
I didn't think I was going to get there. 4 and 6.
It was hard because I wanted to like tie something to like Friars, but like Friars they go out into the public.
Yeah.
Like they're not at a monastery type thing. So I couldn't say a monastery. I just had to say Holy Land.
Yeah. I liked it. I got there.
You did.
All right. Mine. You ready?
Yes.
All right. You are 3 and 6. Let's see if you can even it up here. My guess the game for you, Jaren, is a little bit of a joke.
Fuck.
How do you shave a gopher?
How do you shave a gopher?
You buzz it. That's my clue. Good luck.
Maryland, Minnesota.
Yes, you got it. Nailed it. That's Maryland at Minnesota at 2 p.m. on Sunday, February 8th. Yes, Maryland, because coached by Buzz Williams. Minnesota is the Golden Gophers. There we go.
Look at that.
It up again.
We've stayed even.
We got to end even here.
We'll see if that happens. That's all we got.
One more thing. Happy birthday, Dad. My dad's 76 today.
Heck yeah.
So 76, turned 76. Got to see, it took him 50 years since 76 to see the football, IU football win a national championship. He was a senior in high school when they went to the Rose Bowl and lost. So he's seen a lot of losing football in his days, and he was, a little bit behind the times of the winning. He got to IU before Bob Knight, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
And so he's seen a lot of basketball, seen some championships, hadn't seen one in football. So 50 years after the last undefeated national championship in basketball, IU does it in football. The year my dad turned 71, or 76. Messed it up. Yeah, I was thinking of my dad. I thought my dad was Tom Izzo for a second. Sorry, Dad.
That would have
been you more than Tom Izzo. But,
close, very close second.
Yeah,
just Tom Izzo.
But happy birthday to my dad. That's all I got.
Yep. Happy birthday, Mr. Miller. And with that, the clock is showing quadruple zeros, so it's time for us to get out of here. Thanks for checking into the State of Basketball podcast. We will see you next time. And remember, in 49 states,
it's just basketball.